I recently sat down with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North at our 11th annual CUFI Washington Summit, where he was a guest speaker. He had some sobering analysis of where we stand in this fight and what needs to be done to achieve victory. Take a look.
If we're going to defeat the threat that is confronting us today, and it's not just taking down a school somewhere or protecting people at a convention or stopping an attack on a shopping mall. This is a much bigger threat. This is existential to the United States. The greatest terror institution in the world is the government in Tehran. The government in Tehran is building nuclear weapons with the help of the North Koreans and the means of delivering them. So this is not just a matter of, oh, it's a police operation in San Bernardino or a nightclub in Orlando. This is an existential threat perpetrated by an ideology called Radical Islamic Jihad, all right? And it doesn't just stop with a terror institution of one cell here or a self-radicalized person there. This is a national catastrophe that's about to happen. How do you stop it? There's two things that have to happen. Three, I guess. You got to recognize the threat for what it is. Number two, you got to be prepared to address it both militarily and, if you will, counter ideology. We didn't have any trouble calling Adolf Hitler a fascist Nazi. We didn't have any trouble calling the Stalinists commies. We have a terrible, difficult time of saying this is radical Islamic Jihad. If we're going to take it on, we have to destroy their safe havens, wherever they are. When all this started, there was one big safe haven. It's called Raqqa in Syria. Today, here 4 years on, we now have safe havens in over 40 countries. The last leg of this whole thing is to counter the ideology. How is it that you've got people in Raqqa who are better at social media than we are in the US government or willing to use it? See, the great unwillingness is, well, we can't put out propaganda, we can't describe how bad this is, we can't tell people who these enemies really are. If that persists, doesn't matter what happens to Raqqa, it will continue to be a major threat to the United States, to Israel, to those things that we consider most dear. And I got skin in the game. I got 17 grandkids. I want, like Abraham wanted, for his children and his grandchildren to do what God wanted to do, spread throughout the world, right? Well, I want mine to do that too. And if we don't stand up and fight back, if we don't do it the smart way, they don't have a chance. And that really bothers me, because I've known a lot of guys who put their lives on the line. I've known a lot of families who've lost a loved one fighting this terrible scourge. I've been over there for 15 and a half years watching it happen. And they've given their lives and their limbs, and they deserve better than what they've gotten from Washington.